I've had this YouTube channel for a little while now, and I'm getting older. I'm not that same little young buck I was when I started. What do I mean by all this? What I mean is, I'm getting to the point where I just care a little bit less. Now, I don't care less about what I'm doing. I love fragrances. I love sharing my opinions, observations, and experiences about them with you, but I am caring a little bit less about BS. I'm so thrilled to bring you guys another video like this, me ranking all the fragrances I have from one collection, from one brand, in a very inconsequential way, in a way that doesn't have to have any bearing on your life and not even on your taste in fragrances. And the subject of today's video is Guerlain. I love Guerlain. You might love Guerlain. Maybe we all love Guerlain. Maybe you don't know anything about Guerlain, but hopefully by the end of this video, you will. And what is the BS I'm referring to? I'm referring to the people that don't listen. This is not a comprehensive list. This will not feature every single Guerlain fragrance ever made, and therefore it might leave out some of your favorites. But fret not, my friends, because you can still love what you love, even if I don't have it. Writing a comment saying, where is this fragrance? Where is that fragrance? Unfortunately, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to make it magically appear in the video because it's already been edited. I can't go back and change the fabric of space-time and insert a fragrance that wasn't. You get what I mean. So I just say save your energy, save your time. This is my list. If there's a fragrance I'm missing, then it's in your list. And that's what matters. I'm an old man now. Look at my hair. It's gray. This is just what it is, guys. Hope you enjoy. Let's dive right into it. We got 15 fragrances to get through. I'm going to try to speed through this as quickly as I can, but still take a little bit of time to explain my reasoning for each placement. First up at the 15th spot is Habit Rouge L'Instinct from Guerlain.
Of course, it's from Guerlain. That's what this video is about, Justin. Don't be redundant.
This fragrance is a head scratcher. It's really pleasant. It's really easy to wear. It smells very generic. It smells very mainstream. It smells like it could have come from any well-known designer brand, Armani, Jean Paul Gaultier, Teazzurra. It's green, fresh, kind of sweet-ish. It's like, I get it. They were seeking to make a very pleasant, easygoing, high-selling fragrance, and maybe this is selling well for them. I hope it is, because I like the brand, but it smells nothing like Habit Rouge. Doesn't belong in this collection, and it smells nothing like really any other Guerlain fragrance. So it's not here at the 15th spot because it's a bad scent. It's here because it's just not special at all. Anyway, it's pleasant, but that's it. Habit Rouge L'Instinct. At the 14th spot, we have a discontinued fragrance. I do believe you can't really find this very easily anymore. This is Teazzura from the Aqua Allegoria collection. This is a beautiful scent. I honestly have no qualms with it. It is this soft, cottony, chamomile tea, lemon vibe. It's so natural smelling. It's so calming. It's a very specific personality, which I usually love. That's what I prefer out of my fragrances. But in this case, the personality just doesn't often blend with my own on most occasions. I am rarely seeking to supplement my presence in a room with a scent personality like this. Not to say I never do it or never will do it. It's just very rare. But I love the scent. I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon because it is very special. It's well made and it is kind of a collector's item at this point, but it's not my absolute favorite from the house. Anyway, let me know what you think about it if you've tried Teazzura. Want to smell like spearmint gum? Check out Herba Fresca. Not exactly, but it's reminiscent. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why it's this low on the list. I like the scent. Citrusy, very green and minty, very fresh and cooling, herbal, but it is the type of mint that smells like gum. I can't get around it no matter how many times I've worn this over the years, which has not been that many. I'd say almost a dozen times at the very most. I smell gum and I feel like I smell like gum, and gum smells good. I like it when I chew it. I don't want it on my neck, but for a similar reason as Teazzura, I like the scent, I like the personality, the specificity of it. It is kind of a collector's item because I do believe it's also discontinued, but once again, just gotta be in the mood for it, and I'm not always in the mood for it. Herba Fresca. This next fragrance is an absolute classic. Some of you guys might be appalled at the placement of this, but refer to the intro. There's actually nothing to be upset about because this is not a comprehensive list nor ranking. This does not determine what is good and what is bad from the house. This is just me and my taste and my wearing. If it's higher on your list, I am so happy for you. But this is L'Instant de Guerlain. This is a beautiful scent profile. I remember smelling this years ago from a decant and really finding it very interesting. I got this bottle not that long ago from a friend. This is the Eau de Toilette. Haven't tried the EDP, so maybe it's a different experience, but this is one of those situations where performance actually does affect my outlook on the scent. I usually don't let it do that. In fact, most times it does not play a role, but the only reason it plays a role here is because I can't really smell it that well. I don't mind a light scent that doesn't last very long, but I actually do want to smell it when I spray it on. I can't smell this in its full entirety when I spray it. Even right up close on first spray, it's there and it's just kind of like, anyway, I hope that's clear. So I just can't really get a great idea of it when I'm wearing it. It's so fleeting, but it's beautiful. It's so unique. It's this kind of earthy, chocolatey patchouli with orange. It's fresh and light. Such an interesting scent profile, but just can't really smell it that much. Let me know what your experience is with formulations like this and newer. That is L'Instant de Guerlain. Next fragrance is another absolute classic. This has been around for some time, at least this particular DNA. This is Habit Rouge, the original, the EDP here. This stuff is so posh. This is so Guerlain. This really encompasses what the perfumery of this house is known for. It features that Guerlainade accord, which is this creamy, ambery, vanilla, woody, jasmine, floral feel. It all kind of melds together to create a very smooth profile. This particular fragrance is accented by some lemon, lots of citrus in here, some carnation flowers, some rosewood. There's a lot happening in this scent. It smells so sophisticated, but I have to be in the mood for this. I often feel like if I spray this on with trepidation, then it will wear me out of the house. It'll just be the bottle walking around with me sitting on its neck, holding on for dear life. Not a good time, as I'm sure you can imagine. I highly appreciate it. Just functionally speaking, I don't wear it a whole lot. That is Habit Rouge. If you have tried Danger from the house of Rouge Parfum and you like it, then you might like Heritage, or you might not, especially if you don't like Danger. Wow, such a unique take on a fougere. I don't know if it's officially meant to be a fougere, an aromatic fougere, but that's the vibe I get. I get a cleanliness, a kind of soapy, clean lavender feel, definitely powdery, soft, a little sweet and warm, a little spicy, very masculine, very refined smelling, very gentlemanly, perhaps a little bit old-fashioned smelling, but not overly so. It doesn't smell like it's out of date. It just smells like an older guy or an older personality. Once again, a fragrance I don't really have qualms with, but it is a strong-ish personality, and I'm just not always in the mood for it, especially with fougères or fougère adjacent fragrances. There's others I just might wear a little bit more than this. So again, functionally speaking, it's good. I just don't wear it a whole lot. Heritage. I believe Heritage officially put us into the top 10, and at the 9th spot, we have the classic from the 1960s. Originally, this is Vetiver. This is the EDT. This is such a special Vetiver fragrance. It is a seminal one. Now, it's not the absolute very first Vetiver fragrance to be more or less mass marketed. I think that came from Carven. They had a Vetiver fragrance from the late 50s. Never tried that one, but that is an iconic scent and definitely paved the way. But this also served in paving the way for modern Vetiver. It smells like it could have come out at any point in time. If you like Tom Ford Grey Vetiver, you can probably thank this and maybe even the Carven, because there's no telling that that would even exist without these predecessors. Clean, citrusy, woody green Vetiver, a touch of smokiness in there that adds some dimension to it. It's light, it's transparent, not going to last a whole long time, but it just smells clean and classy, sharp and authoritative, but in a soft, understated way. You smell like you know what you're doing and you belong where you are. Let me know if you dig Vetiver. I think it's absolutely timeless and basically a masterpiece. So everything I said about Habit Rouge wearing me out of the house, this fragrance definitely will do the same thing to the nth degree. But I love this stuff. I'm kind of addicted to it, but again, functionally not pulling for it a whole lot because it really depends on where I'm going and how I'm feeling. This is Bois Mysterieux. Man, this stuff is so good. This is kind of animalic, and by kind of, I mean quite. There's a sharp quality to this, something that kind of stings the nose, but in a very intriguing way. Lots of dry wood, but there's a beautiful resinous myrrh, adds a touch of sweetness, a little bit of this sticky resinous quality that kind of just glues everything together, almost rounds it out, makes it a little bit less abrasive than perhaps it would be. I'm just speaking theoretically. I don't know exactly how it was composed, but that is what I get out of it when I wear it. It smells very elegant. It smells very confident. Definitely not a daily wear unless you are just the kind of person who does not care what anybody says or thinks. You are you. You don't really just mold and chameleon your way around. This is something that you might enjoy for any situation, but definitely not my first pick in the summertime. So I'm not getting a ton of wear out of it right now as it warms up. But when it's cold, I try to reach for it as often as I can relative to how comfortable I feel with it. But Can't deny. Beautiful. Very, very captivating. Bois Mysterieux. This next one is kind of a beloved fragrance. I had someone comment on a recent video where I ranked it. I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10, and they couldn't believe I gave it an 8 out of 10. And I had to tell them, you know, 8 is pretty good. 8 points out of 10 points. That leaves only 2 on the table. That's a good rating. But obviously this person loves this fragrance and they would consider it a 10. Is either one of us wrong? No. Are we both right? Yes. Welcome to life. This is Guerlain Homme. Classic. Not very old, but they gave it just the name Homme, so they are redefining what a man smells like when they put that name on a fragrance. This is the EDP. This is known as this minty mojito, a little bit sweet, quite fresh, minty once again, maybe a little bit woody as it dries. Kind of a simple scent profile. This completely wears like an EDP. It has a density to it. It has a richness to it. It sticks closer to the skin, doesn't radiate a whole lot, but I do smell it around me for most of the day, and it does tend to last on my skin. I'd say at least 8 hours, which is cool. Again, it's just an added bonus. That's how I see performance, but it's not my absolute favorite. It doesn't completely blow me away, but I like it a lot. There's nothing about it I don't like, but there's nothing about it I just completely love. But let me know what you think. Homme EDP. We got some new blood in the building. This is a brand new release. It is a flanker, and I feel like I like it more than I expected to. This is Vetiver Parfum. There was a little bit of controversy around what they were going to do with this, and even after that, people who actually tried it are saying, oh, it's just totally redundant to the original Vetiver. In my experience, it's not. Is that saying you need both? Absolutely not. But what it is saying is that if you have either one, it's still worth sampling the other because they might both have a place in your collection. I would not wear this in the same scenarios I would wear the original. This is not fresh, light, citrusy, transparent vetiver. The heart of vetiver, which is this slightly bitter, green, woody quality, is in this, but it's way more condensed, way more rich, not fresh, not a whole lot of daylight getting through this one. Earthier, smells a little bit more like the vetiver you get at a Sultan vetiver from Nichane. If you can imagine that, it's kind of this fresh, natural, grassy vetiver. And with that on the skin as it dries, you get this beautiful smokiness, which you get out of the original, and this beautiful kind of tonka bean licorice feel. It's sweet, kind of mentholic, almost like candy-like, but very subtle. Mixing with the bitterness of the vetiver, it's just a beautiful balance, adds some dimension to the scent, makes it smell interesting. So I'm loving this. I'm still getting to know it better and better, but it's moving up the ranks, as you can see. That is Vetiver Parfum. Next one up is L'Homme Ideal Extreme. This is lovely stuff. This is the signature bitter almond tonka bean combo, creating this creamy, nutty, sweet, warm fragrance profile. In this case, it's blended with a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of plum, kind of dark, rich, spicy, fruity, creamy, warm, smooth, sexy, but not the most cuddly of them all. It does have a little bit more of this standout quality to it, something to wear more on a night out than a night in, if you're asking me. That's just me. It's beautiful though. L'Homme Ideal Extreme. And up next is the OG, L'Homme Ideal, the EDT. I like it just a little bit more than the Extreme, but we have to acknowledge that none of them would exist if it weren't for this. It's a beautiful blend of something that smells kind of mass market. It smells like it's easy to wear, smells easy to understand for most people, but it also doesn't smell exactly like anything else out there. Hard balance to strike. Thierry Wasser did a beautiful job with that. So it has that signature bitter almond tonka bean combo. In this case, a little bit fresher and lighter, more transparent, maybe some citrus to brighten it up a little bit, some leather as it dries, perhaps some slightly bitter woods to add some balance, but it is mostly sweet and warm, again with just a little bit more freshness and less density than the others. This is L'Homme Ideal EDT. And we got the EDP next, a little bit more intensified on the cherry feel, almost like a cherry liqueur feeling to it. It just has the EDT, but more personality to it. It's just amplified in every direction. If you really like the EDT, then you'll probably like this because it just bumps it up that notch to something that is still familiar, but almost elevating to its own personality in a way. Well known, so you probably already know this one, but anyway, it's good stuff. The famed cologne at number 2, hard to find because it is discontinued. They kind of brought it back in another version, which I never tried. Man, this is so good. It's such a beautiful twist on the identity to create a whole new personality, whole new function, bright, lemony, bubbly, sparkly with some pink pepper, but still creamy, a little bit sweet and quite fresh. Beautiful for a warm day when you want to smell a little bit more refined and you just want to smell cute. You want to be walking around smelling cute, guys, then this is what you smell cute with, if you can get it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. L'Homme Ideal Cologne. And if you guys know me, if you know this channel, then you know what still sits on the throne today is still L'Homme Ideal Intense. Today it's called just Intense, and the bottle's gonna look different. In fact, most of the L'Homme Ideal bottles I showed you will look different today if you get modern formulations. As far as I know, doesn't really make a difference, but this is still my favorite. This is so spicy. I love the chili pepper. It's fiery, it's smoky, it's hot, but it's still sweet and kind of creamy and smooth as it dries down. But the cardamom in here kind of brings this sexy, alluring feeling. I love wearing this on a night out. In the cooler weather, it just leaves this trail in the air that is not overwhelming, but it is once again alluring, kind of delicious, but also a little bit mysterious with that smoky quality. Just has probably the most dimension and depth to me out of all the L'Homme Ideals, and for whatever reason, the way it makes me feel when I wear it tops every other fragrance from the house. That's just me. You might feel differently, and once again, you're right. But that's my number one, L'Homme Ideal Intense. /intense. If you wish to try any of the Guerlain fragrances I talked about in this video, they will be linked down in the description if I can find them, if they're still available. Again, they're not all still available, so let me know what you think of my selections here if you've tried them, and thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.